wanted to check in with my spirit guides today, my beings of love and light. I wanted to talk about, I watched a recent interview with Dr. Stephen Greer, and he mentioned some things I personally wanted some clarification on. So I wondered if we could address some of those questions. Okay, wonderful. Okay. So the first one of the things that he mentioned, and I apologize, I'm turning there, that's why the pendulum's moving, is he mentions in this particular interview that all of the activity happening is related to the U.S. government or man-made. Is this correct? No. Okay. So is some of it though? Yes. Okay. So as we talked about in a prior session, there is some human involvement with this activity in the sky. So it's not all UAPs, but some of it is. Okay. And in this particular interview, he mentions there's a covert, I don't know what, he kind of called it a dark under operation or section of the U.S. military that's involved in maybe ET technology, like reverse technology. So I wanted to find out if this is correct. And that is a huge yes. Okay, so that's not the answer I thought you were going to get. So that's interesting. So there truly is like a part of the U.S. military or government that is responsible for focusing on ET activity. Okay. What specifically is their purpose? I mean, what are they trying to do specifically? T-H-E, why they, A-R-E, they are, T-R-Y-I-N-G, trying, T-O-2, C-R-E-A-T-E, create, F-E-A-R, fear, F of, U, F, O, S, UFOs. Okay, so they are trying to create fear of UFOs. Okay. So what is their ultimate purpose? I mean, I'm sure it has something to do with controlling our behavior, and we're much easier to control if we're afraid. What is there? I mean, what I suspect is that there is some kind of, has something to do with money. It often does. Is that possibly something is being created to create a war against the aliens, and I'm going to use that in quotes, so that they can rally the populace or population around almost a war. So it's probably funding that they are looking for to create this. Okay, now I'm purely speculating. So is there anything you'd like to add about that? Y, O, U, U, A, R, E, U, R, C, O, R, R, E, C, T. You are correct. Okay, so that is the purpose of this organization, yes, to create what appears to be, or what they can create as a narrative for an impending threat to Americans, because it is the United States, it sounds like, for funding. So it's probably money, so I'll be looking for money. And then, I mean, can they actually produce any, I mean, well, first of all, is there truly a threat? No. Okay, so this is almost like a big show. Yes. Okay. So it's a way to kind of control the narrative, keep us in a fear state. Are any of these, I don't know what you want to call it, groups, factions, parts of the military aware of ascension and the evolution of consciousness? That is a huge yes. Okay. So what I am guessing is that there are those either extraterrestrials who are, well, I guess maybe I should ask this, just ask the questions. Are there extraterrestrials in contact with the U.S. government or authorities in the U.S. government? That is a huge yes. Okay, so not all extraterrestrials are of the light. Okay, so we haven't really talked about that before, but not all are of the light. So there are definitely extraterrestrials who represent the dark, and in that sense, they could be, their focus could be to create fear and to control the masses and to control humanity for purposes that we don't even really understand from this perspective. Okay, so is that what's occurring here essentially? Is that our own government is maybe in collaboration, either knowingly or unknowingly, with ETs that represent the dark in order to create fear. Okay, I just keep saying that over and over. I just want to make sure I'm not misunderstanding or I'm speaking out of turn. So that is what is happening here. Okay, so again, I just wanted to talk about what this experience is. So what exactly is this experience that we're in right now? A, S, C, H, O, O, L, school, F, O, R4, S, O, U, L, S, a school for souls. So this is not real. No. Okay. So we should realize that this is kind of a big show. It's kind of a play, is what it seems like. And it's really a place for us to learn lessons, and that we are truly divine beings and eternal. So what should we do with all of this information? What should we do? Because it feels like things are ramping up to a head, especially with what we just discussed, some kind of war on aliens or something that could occur. What should we do for those that want the truth and how to deal with this evolution in consciousness that's occurring? What should we do? L, O, O, K, look, W, I, T, H, I, N. Look within. Okay, because the answers do not lie in the shenanigans and posturing and egos and all that goes on in this 3D experience, because we are eternal beings here for soul growth. And so in many ways, we can just ignore all of this that goes on around us, meditate, find love for ourselves, find love for each other, and stay out of a fear vibration. So that's really all we have to do. And we're all on individual journeys for our evolution of consciousness. And we don't need to be afraid that we're doing something wrong, or if we make the wrong decision, or if we don't understand what will happen to us, because we are eternal. And this is a show, basically. Okay, all right. Okay, well, thank you for that. Is there anything else you'd like to add on this particular subject? Yes, okay. D, O, N, O, T, do not. B, E, B, A, F, R, A, I, D, do not be afraid. So you've said that so many times. I apologize for that. That is the main thing, is to not fall into fear, because that appears to be one of the focuses of the agenda, is to create a fear vibration. And in doing so, that impacts our own ascension and evolution of consciousness, and the Earth's ascension and evolution of consciousness, and in turn impacts the entire universe. So it's important to just stay in a loving vibration. Okay, wonderful. Okay, well, I'll go ahead and wrap up this session. Thank you so much for this information. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we go? W E L O V E Y O. You, we love you. Okay, sending gratitude and love. Thank you.